So basically, when do you know when it's time to call your MS nurse?
I don't think I do. Don't laugh. Because I really struggle to reach out and connect with people about having MS.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm in denial about having MS. I know that. I am really stubborn about accepting there's something wrong. And I think that when especially because I'm really career focused, I feel that I am like giving in to that, and I really struggle with, like, it makes me feel like less of a person because I'm telling someone I need help, and I really struggle to accept help. So in the past year, I've tried to actively try and reach out more. There's just the way I am, but I know that I would get more value from just broadly my whole healthcare team if I actually was a bit more honest about how I was feeling. What about you?
I love the fact that it's like honesty. I've just got to be more honest.
I've just got to be more transparent.
Yeah, and just tell them that, like, actually, I need help.
Yeah,
I need help.
But I really struggle, so I leave it too long, and I would rather I'm trying not to be the person that struggles in silence. And
yeah, because it doesn't get you anywhere.
No.
Silence never gets you anywhere. Yeah.
How about you?
I think mine's kind of the opposite, in the fact that I very much trust that I know when something's wrong. So sometimes one of the struggles that I do find with some MS nurses is that they'll be quick to kind of brush things off. So I will phone them when I know that something significant is happening. And if at any point then they try to say to me, actually, I don't think it's significant, I'll be like, no, it is. That's end of that. I need to come in and see you. I think it's quite useful to sometimes be quite strict with them and say, actually, no, because no one knows you better than yourself. No one knows your symptoms, how you feel. Even if people always say to me, I can't believe you got MS, because on the outside you look perfectly, like, fully functioning, wide awake, able to, occasionally go for the odd run and that sort of thing. And I'm really not like that at all. And I think sometimes, like, I know what the changes are happening underneath. So when a nurse says to me, oh, I don't think it's that big a deal, I'm like, no, it is. And I kind of just get really insistent on them. But I also make sure that I don't call them unnecessarily either, because I also know that when something is just a flare up, or I can feel it in myself when it doesn't feel like it's so bad that actually I need to go and see them. And I tend to not go and see them until I can't cope. When I'm actually at the point when I'm like, actually, this is getting too hard now, that's when I'll go and see them. Or there's some new and surprising thing pops up that I'm like, oh, I've never had that before. That's when I go and see the nurses.
I think one of the other reasons why I don't connect as much with the MS nurses as I could do is because I go for my infusion in hospital every month. So I see those nurses more regularly.
Yeah.
And so if they recognise changes in me, sometimes before I'm willing to reach out to healthcare providers. And so I feel more of a connection to my monthly nurse team sometimes.
I love that you've got like an extended nurse family that's not quite the MS nurses, and they're not quite just general practitioners.
Oh, they are specialist nurses.
They're specialists, but they're not...
They're not identified as specialist nurses.
Yeah, exactly. And I love the fact that they can tell as well. That's amazing.
And I think that also helped me just broadly with, I have an MS community that I see every month as well. So I have other MSs that I can connect with. And if I was just taking a drug on my own in my house and I hadn't got that network of people, maybe I would reach out to my MS nurse team more often.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that I go and I have a social group that I see it more as a coffee morning these days when I go to the hospital, because I get to see, I know it sounds very strange, but I was offered the opportunity to go into a treatment that was less frequent, and I chose not to because I would really miss that, and that would really increase anxiety for me.
Oh, that's really sweet. I like that.
So I wonder if maybe it's not that I sometimes don't know when to reach out to the MS nurses, it's that I get that fulfillment from another team of nurses that deal especially with MS.
Cool. That's absolutely awesome. I like the idea as well that if you're unsure about going to your MS nurse, that you've also got like a whole other level of backup support there as well of people with MS and other nurses and other people that you can see before you get to them that'll be able to say to you, actually, I think they'll give an opinion on it and say, no, or actually they'll turn around to you and say, oh my God, get in touch with the MS nurses.
Yeah.
And they've kind of you've got that sort of unbiased view there that's able to say to you, remove you from you and say, no, you can't just struggle with that. Go to the MS nurses now.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, then fine. Yeah.
Yeah, completely. I completely agree.